How do you see sustainability and gender equity intersect in regards to business?
So it's when I look at sustainability, what I see is a world that is enabled where everyone has equal access to resources and opportunities. That's the way I see it. And if you look at the UN sustainability goals, or the SDG goals, they're centered around a prosperous and equitable community. So from that perspective, I see them as equal. A sustainable world is a world where everyone is equally engaged and equally productive and has equal opportunities. So for example, at Schneider, we take sustainability very seriously. We have what we call the Schneider Sustainability Index that measures 6 long-term goals. And so they relate to climate, they relate to equality, they relate to society, and so when we have these SDG index, we thought about all the elements that need to work and all the areas where we need to show progress.
What innovative technology has impacted the sustainability initiatives within the organizations you've worked with?
Absolutely. So I'm a firm believer that digitization is an enabler for decarbonization. And why I say that is when you digitize your operations or when you digitize your data flow, what you have a very good sense is how you're using the finite resources. So let's say, for example, electrical consumption, right? If you can track where there is waste in the consumptions of electricity in your building, you can then put in controls and you can put in automation that can help you reduce your consumption. So like that, every resource that you have, whether it's water, whether it's a different input into manufacturing, by digitizing, you're able to make intelligent decisions that optimizes the resources that you have. So the more we have connected product, connected systems, and able to drive business decisions, it will mean we will use less resources. Using less resources means you produce less emissions. The second aspect of that for me is also when you think about technologies such as green materials or having green manufacturing, it also means you can extend the life cycle of your product, which means you produce less waste. So technology and innovation I see as the savior to the climate challenge that we have. And I think all of us need to foster that innovation, whether it's on the business side, on the technology side, and especially for a school like Waterloo. Sometimes I hear Waterloo being referred to as the little Silicon Valley of the North. I think enabling startups and funding them and guiding them and being available to them to accelerate the innovation is very important for the future that we need to sustain.
What are ways in which large companies can think about sustainability differently?
Many ways. I think companies sometimes think of sustainability as something that is different from profitability, for example. And for me, the two go in hand. So one, if you are conscientious about your emission, that means you're using your resources optimally. That means less reduction. That means less cost. So I equate decarbonization with greater profitability. And I think it's also very important for large companies to realize that the landscape has significantly accelerated on the need for sustainability. So for a couple of facts to share with you, 110 governments over the last quarter have come and said they're going to be zero emission by a specific point in time, typically around 2040 to 2050. That means they're introducing legislation in their countries whereby they're really looking to companies to lower their emissions. Second, two largest countries or two largest emitters, China and US with the Biden administration, have come forward with very specific plans on how they're going to address climate. So that's going to, again, accelerate the momentum. And the third thing that I would like to point out when it comes to companies is that stakeholders, like you and I, are demanding more sustainable products, sustainable processes. So in order to stay relevant in the marketplace, this is not just a trend. Climate change is not an if, but a when. So everyone should be thinking about how do they get ready for the change that has already happened, and how do they stay relevant in the marketplace.